Hi there, I'm going to walk you through the creation process of a basic particle effect. So, first thing you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to right click and drop down to Effects. Here you'll see Particle System. We're going to create that. This will create for you a default particle system that is emitting particles, as you can see up here, in a direction cone based on whatever parameters are set up within this system. You're able to play with these to do whatever it is you want, whether it's the duration or life of a particle. So by setting this value higher, you can see that the particles created will last for longer, or anything else. You can give them a lifetime to match, which is how long the particle system duration is how long it takes before it will loop. You can set the loop, you can set a start lifetime, which is how many seconds the particles will last. You can put a limit on how many particles, so on and so forth, and adjust many of the other variables within here. All of these are within your control as you work within this. You can customize this to create your particle over whatever system you find is necessary. If I were to make a water particle, for example, I might want to change the size over lifetime. So I would click this, and rather than this axis, I would want this kind, so where it starts big and gets small. The other thing that you might want to do with your particle is change the color. So, easiest way to do that is to go over here, and you're going to create a folder for your particle. Particle example, in my case. Then I'm going to create a folder for the materials for this particle. And then I'm going to actually create the material. So for this material, I'm going to just call this particle material. And because it's water, I want it to be just kind of a light blue color. Okay. Now if I just drag this on as is to my particle system, you can see that doesn't look that great. It's just a bunch of blocks. So in order to adjust that, there are a few things you're going to want to do. First off, we're going to go to particles and we're going to just do standard unlit for here so that this is the way it looks. Then on the albedo property, we're going to apply a sprite effect. This will just change the way it looks, and I'm just going to go with default particle for now. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to make it transparent. And there we go. Now I have my blue particle effect, which you can see going on down here, which is emitting my little water droplets in their way, which I'm able to work with and scale. Now, for the last thing that I'm going to want to do, I'm just going to want to structure this like I do on my other objects so that I'm able to control the default thing. So I'm going to create an empty game object, give it a name that matches what I'm particle example. So this is what I would name my VO. Then I'm going to give it the scale factor so I can change the initial size of the object as it is brought in and the orientation. Because in my case, I'm going to want this thing to be pointed down when it's brought in most cases, to be simulating water coming out of whatever else. And also I think that this is too large because if I look at my scale reference asset, you can see that this is a giant particle effect that is happening here. So I would just go here and I could scale it down to, let's go with half, 0.5, 0.5. Okay, now the entire scale of my thing, and if I still think that's too large, I can continue scaling this down. That actually doesn't seem to be doing anything. All right. So funny enough, I can't actually do it that way. Anyway. Okay, so I have to control the orientation there. There you go. So now this would work very well as just like a little shower thing going on if I wanted to use it for that. Um, so yeah. This is how I'd make a particle system in the case of water, right here. That is very simple, and you can make more complex shapes or anything else by adjusting the particle system here to fit your needs, and that is how I would go about it. After this, I would then just create my prefab, so I would just take this particle example, and I can then package it as per normal with my system. Thank you, and that concludes my tutorial on how to create a particle system.